As the weather warms up, so does the anticipation for the many books that are going to be coming out this spring, and even some that have already come out. Spring is defined by Google as the 24th of March through the end of May. So I compiled a list of the 100 most anticipated novels coming out during that time period. And I'm so excited to share them all with you. But 100 books is a lot, and I don't want to take forever, so I have confined my description to be one sentence per each book or less. And I'm going to try to get through all of these as fast as possible. Let's get into it. March 24. The first book we have coming out is called Wretch, and it is about a grieving man who is deciding whether or not he wants to pay the price to see his husband again. The second book is Two Kinds of Stranger. In this thriller, a woman is trying to be kind to someone who ends up being a killer preying on kindness. The third book is The Night We Met, and that one is by Abby Jimenez. That's all I gotta say. The fourth one is Beneath, and that one is a prequel to the novel Conform. Beneath is about a dystopian city in which a young woman goes on a mission in order to get to the surface. The fifth book is Wolfworm, which is about this woman who is a scientific illustrator, and she takes a job for this scientist who lives in these strange woods. March 31st. The sixth book is Nothing Tastes as Good, and it is about a man who does this experimental weight loss program, which ends up making him cannibalistic. The seventh one is What We Did to Survive, which is about four teens who get lost at sea. The eighth book is Game On, which is the third book in a dark romance series called Into Darkness. The ninth book is The Faraway Inn, which is about a teenager who goes to live with her aunt, who lives in a rundown inn that is containing a magical secret. The 10th book is We're a Bad Idea, Right? Which is by K.L. Walther and is a best friends fake dating romance novel. The 11th book is called The Fourth Wife, which is about this Mormon woman who joins this family when she gets married to her husband and can't figure out whether the house or the family is more dangerous. The 12th book is called A Good Person, and that is about this woman who wants more from her situationship, but then he ends up breaking up with her, so she puts a hex on him and she becomes the suspect in his murder. April 7. We're into April now. Number 13 is The Ending Writes Itself, which is a book about 6 struggling writers who are sent to an island to finish an infamous author's last book. The 14th book is Smoke Scar, and it is about fays and humans who are enemies and they only keep the peace through deadly trials. The 15th book is called Unbound, and it is a second chance college romance. The 16th book is called The Gravewood, and it is about this girl who gets the help from a vampire when her best friend goes missing into the dangerous woods that traps her town. The 17th book is called The Book Witch, and it is about this book witch, which is basically this woman who protects fiction by going into books. The 18th book is called Yesteryear, and it is about this kind of trad wife who has millions of followers, but then ends up waking up in 1855. The 19th book is The Escape Game, which is a TV show based on an escape room in which teenagers play to win, but last season one died, so this season they're kind of trying to figure out what happened. The 20th book is Dog Person, which is this dog that is trying to fulfill her owner's last wish of finding her significant other a new love. Number 21 is Burn the Kingdom Down, and it is about this girl who goes to take vengeance after her sister is stolen as a captive bride and brought back dead. The 22nd book is called Bodies of Work, and it is about this murderous artist who starts hearing the voices of the people he's killed. A Deal with a Debutante is about a woman who doesn't want to get married, but her mom is eager to marry her off, and a man who needs to marry to avoid financial ruin. Honey in Her Veins is about this man who has a monster in his mind and this woman who can't control her power, and they're both trying to seek out healing from this magical honey. American Fantasy is from the author of This Time Tomorrow by Emma Straub. April 14. Strange Things Have Happened is a romance where two people are trying to see if a therapist can really tell the difference between fake and real love. Cherry Baby is by Rainbow Rowell. The Auction is a dark romance Beauty and the Beast retelling. Happy Ending is about these two people that start fake dating after both of their exes started dating right after both of their divorces. The Arachnid is the second book in the Poisoner series. Stay for a Spell is about a princess who just wants time to read. So she gets stuck in a bookshop, and the only way she can get out is by fulfilling her heart's desire. Go Gentle is about a fiercely independent divorcee who knows she doesn't need anyone, but meeting this handsome man, her desire ignites again. The Missing Ones. When human remains are found years after 3 locals went missing, suspicions arise again. Leave Your Mess at Home is about siblings who are living in the shadow of their parents' American dream. Japanese Gothic originally sparked my interest because it reminded me of Mexican Gothic, but it interweaved Japanese folklore into a story of two people who are centuries apart, but one door connects their worlds. We're to April 21st. The Antiquarian's Object of Desire is about two antique experts who have to fake hating each other to save their reputations. The Caretaker is about a woman who takes a very suspicious job as a caretaker. Somewhere Soft to Land is about this woman who's already grappling with her own issues in her life, who now has to deal also with the fact that her best friend has gone through tragedy. The Drop is about this roller coaster that gets stuck 650 feet up in the air with no way down. Odessa is about this girl who is murdered during violence in Russia and then is brought back by her family. May the Dead Keep You is about this girl who discovers dark secrets while being haunted by the house and wood surrounding the house that she once loved. Thrall is about this woman who gets bitten by a vampire and then teams up with the rest of this vampire's victims to get revenge. Love Overboard is about this woman who gets her dream role as the lead chef of this reality TV show on a yacht, but then she's cast alongside the man that left her without a single word. April 24, we have just one book, and that is Fragile Hopes, which is a firefighter romance. Do I need to say more? April 28. The Island Club is about 3 women whose lives are falling apart, but they become closer and play tennis together. Dark is When the Forest Comes is about a spooky forest and a missing sister. We Burned So Bright is by TJ Klune and is about an elderly gay couple who go on a road trip during the end of the world. Death Meets Cute is about a witch with villainous plans that get foiled when she starts falling for a sweet orc. Mocha is about a woman whose life starts falling apart after This man had hidden cameras everywhere in her workplace. So she gets revenge. How to cheat your own death is two mysteries with two timelines. All of it interconnected. A River from the Sky is a lyrical science fantasy novel, and it is the book following A Palace Near the Wind. We're to May. May 5. Payback. When their guard is found dead, 7 inmates realize they have to figure out what happened if they want to stay in their cushy prison rather than go to a more high security one. That Which Feeds Us is about this native Hawaiian girl who is searching for her twin sister and along the way finding out dark secrets about paradise. The Inklings Detective Agency is about what it would have been like if famous authors had gotten together to solve a murder mystery. She Waits Where Shadows Gather is about this man who has spent his life disproving the supernatural, but is now stuck in his body in a haunted house. Between Sun and Shadow is a YA fantasy novel which has been compared to Beauty and the Beast and Persephone in Hades. But Won't I Miss Me is a speculative horror novel which explores the theme of motherhood. Mercy Hill is about 4 sisters who grew up alongside their mother, who is the head psychiatrist at a mental hospital called Mercy Hill, and they're all fighting to keep it running as other ones are shutting down across the country. 5 is about 5 people who are waiting for a train. One of them will die. Saturn Returning is about 3 queer friends who are battling the complexities of friendship, heartache, and love. The Young Will Remember is about this woman whose plane is shot down over North Korea and only survives because this woman claims her as her daughter. The Library Flowers is about this powerful, magical family who expects their 5th daughter to be even more powerful, but then she ends up being powerless and flees. Accumulation is about a woman whose husband buys her dream house, but then she can't figure out if it's the house or her that's haunted. The Calamity Club is another novel written by the author of The Help, Catherine Stockett, in which it focuses on a group of courageous women. Roles and Rivalry is a romance about teens in marching band who play D&D. We're to May 12th. A Parade of Horribles is the 8th book in the massively popular dungeon crawler Carl series. First in Forever is by Lynn Painter. Deathbringer is about this magical school in which 2 enemies of each other have to work together to find a killer. Out of Her League is about this woman who starts fake dating her ex's favorite soccer player. Hunger is a best-selling cult classic in Korea, now translated to English. The Last Mandarin is about a mother and daughter who is called to the White House to try to decode the intentions behind an attack. June Baby is about this girl who, after her mom dies of cancer, is sent off because her dad doesn't want to deal with her to this basically stranger who lives on an island, and she stays there for the next 10 summers. New Skin is about this woman who is struggling with her mother who, because of her addiction to plastic surgery, has ruined her face. The May House is about 3 adult daughters who inherit a beach house under the condition that they have to spend a week together every May. Make Me Better is about a woman who travels to the secluded island because the community there promises emotional healing. Nerve Damage is about this woman who's been stalked by her ex, reversing the roles. The Anniversary. Every May, a killer called Mayday strikes. The Pillager's Guide to Arctic Pianos is about this family who wants to keep living in their beloved Arctic home, but are struggling to get by, so they start trying to find pianos which hadn't made it all the way to the Arctic from the past. The Hanging Bones. A girl joins this magical hunt in the hopes of gaining the death of one man. You're Dead to Me, Reed Walker is a YA romance about two academic rivals who are now stuck haunting the same house. We Dance Upon Demons is about this woman who is a reproductive healthcare worker and is struggling with both the abortion bans and protesters while also dealing with the fact that she has newly discovered powers. Seek the Traitor's Son is by Veronica Roth, which is the author of the Divergent series. The Bone Door is about this boy who wakes up in a place he doesn't know, a labyrinth in which the only escape is behind locked doors. Femme Feral is about this woman who believes she is dealing with perimenopause, but is actually turning into a werewolf. May 19, The Shippers is by Catherine Center. It's a friends to lovers and a second chance romance. Andromeda is about reclaiming her story. The House of Now and Then is about a summer spent in a cabin which changes a man's life. Both can be true. When a local mom goes missing, two sisters are pulled back together. The Burning Side is by Sarah Damoff, which she wrote the book The Bright Years, which was my absolute favorite book of last year. Her writing is incredible. The One Day You Were My Husband. 12 years after her first husband was kidnapped on their wedding night, she discovers he escaped. The Arcane Arts. The genres of dark academia and romance meet as a graduate student and her advisor study taboo magic. Bone of My Bone. A nun and a peasant decide to work together to try to connect the skull of a saint back with its body in the hopes of being granted a wish. The Midnight Train. Matt Haig, the author of The Midnight Library, is bringing us back to that world, to a train that is able to bring you back to your most important moments of your life. Dolly All the Time is about this independent problem solver who goes home to try to save her family's home, but then ends up in a fake relationship. Behind Five Willows. In the times of censorship in Korea, a transcriber of illegal books and a writer of illegal books meet. The Final Target. In this latest Nora Roberts novel, a writer is being stalked by an obsessive fan. Every Exquisite Thing. A girl is given the chance to be painted by this painter who is able to give her eternal beauty, but then a killer starts killing off those in the portraits one by one. A Fortune of Sand is by Ruda Sepetys, who is an incredible writer who wrote Salt to the Sea. Bromantasy is about two friends, one of which has a crush on the other, and they go on a quest to vanquish a monster. The Summer Share is a romance in which two people inherit the same beach house. And that's all I got for you. Those are 100 books coming out this spring. If you made it all the way to the end, please let me know what book you are most interested in. If you liked the video, like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe. And yeah, bye.